Okay, good morning and welcome back after half term. We're going to start by lying down, your favourite lying down position, Shavasana, or whatever feels comfortable. Feet a bit wider than hips, bit of space under the armpits. And just allow yourself to flop. If, like me, you've been dashing around, getting ready this morning, probably noticing that your body is still in the kind of busy mode, feeling a bit like, a bit tense, that's fine. We're not going to force ourselves to relax. You can't force yourself to relax. But what you can do is just acknowledge the stillness for a moment. And just notice the sounds around you. Maybe you can hear other people in the house, pets, creaking. I can hear the birds outside, which is really nice. I can also hear a lorry outside the village shop. So just taking a moment to stop and pay attention to what's immediately around you, what's happening right now, what you're doing right now. And take your hands, pop them on the belly. And just noticing the rise and the fall of the belly with the breath. Just watching it. Notice as the belly button comes all the way down as you breathe out. And then floats back up again, lifting the hands a little on the in-breath and as the belly expands. And then deflates. So just noticing that movement. Not altering it. Just watching and observing the rise and fall of the hands. And then just notice how you're feeling up in the shoulders. And then just turn your attention to the point at which your shoulders, your shoulder blades, the upper back are touching the earth beneath you. Just notice those points. And just see if you can surrender a little bit more into that sense of being held by the earth at that point. So the tension that we might be carrying up around in our shoulders, just pass it down into the earth beneath you. If it doesn't feel like that's happening, if you're still feeling tense up in the shoulders, it doesn't matter. And perhaps saying now as well, with the lower back, where that's touching the earth, your yoga mat or the carpet, whatever you're on, just encourage any tension to be held or to fall into the earth beneath. Accepting that it won't instantly feel like a relief or a release. Just making the invitation. And then the same down at the feet. So probably at the heels, where the heels, ankles, connecting with the earth. Just encouraging sensation, or noticing that sensation of being held. And then bring your feet together and reach your arms, your hands right above the head. Have a really, really long stretch, a super uber stretch. And then release, bring the hands down and flop again. Noticing the contrast between that stretch and then the relaxation, the release afterwards. And do that one more time. Just reach, stretch all the way from the tips of the toes, the tips of the fingers, reaching, stretching, body as long as it could possibly be. And then release, relax, unfold, soften, and surrender. And then bending the left knee and then taking the right leg up high, straight, holding on to the back of the leg, pushing with the foot up to the sky. And just start to work with a little bit of a stretch down the back of the legs and a very slight engagement of the core. And keep encouraging that leg to come a little bit closer towards the head, intensifying the stretch just a little, but keep your shoulders down away from the ears, keep the face relaxed, arms fairly relaxed, just a gentle encouragement. And if you want more of a stretch here, you can straighten that bent knee to come into more of a scissors position. Keeping it steady here. Encouraging the stretch a little bit more. I am super tight this morning. Couple more breaths, easing into the stretch. And this is where we're going to come down and come into a lying down tree. So the leg that is up is going to be the bent leg, bringing that foot to the inside of the thigh or lower down if that's more comfortable for you. And this is where you might like to pop a cushion under your knee for some support. If your knee isn't coming down, if your hips aren't open in that way, you might want to pop a cushion under the knee. You don't have to. And then in this lying down tree position, taking the hands just as you would if you were coming into balance, together in a prayer position above the head, and placing them on the floor, and just resting here for a few breaths. Noticing the openness, the space now in the hips. That feeling of length in the body. Few breaths here, encouraging the sensation of spaciousness in the chest, space in the armpits, and enjoying being in the position of tree without the challenge of balance, just noticing the shape, the structures in the body. One more breath here. Make it a nice full in-breath. And a long, steady out-breath. And then bring the hands down. Bring both knees up into the chest. Rock side to side. Little massage on the lower back. And then we'll do that on the other side. So other knee up, and then other leg lifting and straightening, and starting to work with that stretch, pressing the foot to the sky, toes coming towards the head, noticing the engagement of the core, encouraging that a little bit more. Perhaps even starting to engage the pelvic floor here, just a touch. And keep working into that stretch. Steady breaths all the while. And then if you want to intensify that stretch a little bit more, then you can straighten out that leg, bringing it down to the floor. That feels good. You might want to breathe out through the mouth fully. Really encourage the release of the breath. Full breath out. And then again, coming down into tree, to bringing the foot to the inside of the leg, the thigh, wherever it comes to, maybe just at the knee. And then grabbing your cushion, popping it under the leg if that's comfortable for you. If that feels like you can relax more into the posture, then do that. Noticing as well the difference on one side of the body to the other. And then reaching the hands above the head in prayer position. Space in the armpits. Noticing the rise and the fall of the chest as you're here. Space in the hips, open hips. And again, enjoying, or at least noticing, what the posture feels like without the challenge of balance. And taking a conscious long breath out. All the air leaving the body. Next breath floats in, chest rises. And then full long out breath. And then drawing the knees in, rocking side to side. And again, just noticing the breath, encouraging those longer, steady breaths in and out. And then we're floating both feet up, pressing the soles of the feet to the sky, bringing the arms out wide, palms down. And then again, we're just noticing a slight engagement of the core. That belly button coming down towards the spine, starting to lift the pelvic floor. And then keeping the feet together, just float the legs over to the left, just a little way, like a windscreen wiper. Very slow one. Holding it there, so your other hip is slightly off the floor now. And then floating over and doing that on the other side. And then back to center. Push feet up to sky. Push, 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 push. And then really starting to wake up the core now, just lowering those feet a little way. Flat of the back, lower back, sorry, is in the mat. Engaging the core. Steady breath, lowering the legs, holding it slightly. Just a little bit of a challenge. We don't want a massive challenge at this stage. And then bend the knees, bring the hands, push the hands against the thighs, thighs against the hands. Noticing that push and push against one another to keep it in the same place. And what we're doing here is we're really working with the very foundations of our core. So when we're doing crunches and I don't know, my mind's gone blank. All those the top ab exercises which gives us the six pack. With these smaller more foundational exercises, typical to ones you might do after having a baby. We're working with the very base, the very foundations of our core. Steady breaths here. And then bring the feet down, bring the hands down along the side of the body, then just gliding the right foot down, leg long, and then swapping. And then swapping. And again, this is working with the foundation, the lowest unseen muscles of the core. Engage your pelvic floor slightly here. Working with the breath. Maybe breathing in on the exchange, out as you lengthen, in, out. Keep those shoulders in the mat. Out, out, in, out, out. One more on each side. And then bringing the knees in again for a hug, rock side to side. And then roll over onto the side, push yourself up slowly. I feel quite relaxed now. Come to standing. And just standing to face me. Feet a hip distance apart. And just noticing the connection, feet to earth, so lifting up the toes, popping them down, lifting up the heels, popping them down. Check in with your spine, that you're not tucking it in or sticking your bottom out too far. Just notice and encourage yourself to hang in a neutral position. And again, we've got our imaginary string ribbon going up to the sky, keeping our spine long, keeping us upright, allowing us to just hang here like puppets, shoulders loose. A couple of breaths just here. And then coming into what's called an Egyptian sun salute, which is a great one to do if you're sitting down at your desk for a long period of time and just want to leap up and do something that stretches out the spine, moves the spine in every direction. Gets the air flowing, shifts the energy. So, standing tall, noticing the breath. Take a breath in, and then exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And as you breathe in, keeping the hands together, reach up and look up. Reaching tall. Breathing out, coming down into a squat, hands at heart. Breathing out, dropping the hands. And then breathing in, swooping the arms up, but not bringing them together in prayer, just reaching up. Exhale, leaning to the side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, folding up the hip, floating down. Forward fold. Breathing in, swooping up, but not all the way, and keeping the palms facing down, like an Egyptian mummy or a zombie. And the next out breath, going to the side. In breath to center. Out breath. In breath. Out breath here. In breath, arms wide, palms down. Out breath, palms up. In breath, reaching back up, hands together in prayer. Breathing out, coming down into a squat. Breathing in, back to center. Breathing out, hands down to the side. And we'll do that again. The difference being that when we twist and lean, we're going to go to the other side first. So standing tall, shoulders relaxed. Inhaling, exhaling, hands to heart. Inhaling, reaching up, looking up. Exhaling, coming down to a squat, dropping the hands, and then inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling to the side, other side. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, folding at the hip, coming down, forward fold. Inhaling, coming up to that mummy position. Exhaling, side. Inhaling, center. Exhaling, inhaling, center. Exhaling here. Inhaling, arms wide. Exhaling, palms up. Inhaling, reaching up, looking up. Exhaling, coming down, hands to heart, squat. Inhaling up. Exhaling. Couple of breaths here. We'll go again. Perhaps at a little more of a pace. Inhaling and exhaling, hands to heart. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling down to a squat. Dropping the hands. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, side. Inhaling, center. Exhaling, side. Inhaling, center. Exhaling, folding down, forward fold. Inhaling up to the mummy. Exhaling, side. Inhaling, center. Exhaling, side. Inhaling, center. Keep those shoulders down. Exhaling here. Inhaling, arms wide. Exhaling, palms up. Inhaling up. Exhaling, squat. Inhaling, standing. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling, hands to heart. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling down into a squat. Drop the hands. Inhaling up. Exhaling over to the side. Inhaling, center. Exhaling. Inhaling, center. Exhaling, folding down. Inhaling up to the mummy. Exhaling, side. Inhaling, center. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling here. Inhaling wide. Exhaling, arms up, hands up. Inhaling, arms up, looking up. Exhaling, squat. Inhaling, standing up, staying here. Shoulders flopping, elbows flopping down. Feet firmly earthed. Close your eyes, few breaths here. Noticing any sensation in the spine, chest. Face relaxed, tongue relaxed, jaw relaxed. And then open your eyes, drop the hands down. We'll come into doing some warrior postures. But we're going to flow through these at a little bit more of a pace. So we're not going to be holding each pose for very long. And we're just going to work with the intention of flowing from one to the other. And so if that means that we don't quite make the perfect shape in one posture, it doesn't matter, because what we're playing around with here is the flowing through of the movements. So finding your warrior 2 position with your heel lined up to the bridge of the other foot, hips facing forwards. So taking a breath in and out, bending the knee. Then breathing in into the reverse warrior. And then breathing out, reaching, arm comes to rest, side angle. And breathing with the hand down, looking up. And then pushing up as you breathe out. And you can either connect or rest, keep the chest open, whatever feels good. And then push yourself up, coming into triangle, reaching, hand drops down, looking up to the hand. Breathing out, coming into the twist, triangle. And then from here, we often come down and lift our leg up and down, but we're just going to come straight into a half moon. So resting, weight, or using the hand, sorry, to balance. Weight's going down into the foot, coming up into a half moon. You might just want to keep that back foot down and reach up. Experiment, see how you feel this morning coming into the balance. I realise I've whizzed through that, but it was deliberate. And then bringing that foot down and roll up. So that is the sequence. We do it all the time, slowly and holding each posture, but we're going to continue to work through that at quite a pace for fun. So coming back into the warrior two, and don't worry if you're struggling to keep up. Just follow and pick up wherever you can. It doesn't matter. So breathing in, then out, warrior two. In, reverse warrior. Out, flowing over, reaching into side angle. Dropping the hand down. Coming into that twist, or just hold it here, chest open. And then pushing up, getting ready to come into triangle, reaching, triangle. Swap the hands, wiggle around the twisted triangle. That's not as technical. And then from here, coming into that half moon balance, lifting that back leg, opening the chest, lifting up, and then bringing the foot down and rolling up. Let's do that again. Twisted triangle, what's it really called? Inverted triangle. Gabs. Right, getting ready to come into warrior two. In warrior two. Reverse warrior. Flowing into your side angle. Down, open. Coming up, keep the chest open. You can reach and hold on. And then pushing up, getting ready for triangle. Floating into triangle. And then come into the newly rebranded twisted triangle. Twisted. And then bend the knee a little, come into half moon. Even if that means you don't lift your leg up. Open the chest, reach up, lift. Balance, finds a point of focus on the floor. And then bring that foot down to join the other. Roll up. And roll of the shoulders. Last time. Getting ready. Warrior two. Breath in. And out. In. Reverse warrior. Out to side angle. Drop the hand. Push up. Clasp if you want. Pushing up, ready for triangle. Hips out, reach. Hand floats down, opening up between two sheets of glass. Arm down, twisting. And then making your way into the balance. Lifting up that back leg. Keep the chest open, point of focus on the floor. And then bringing that back foot down, rolling up, rolling the shoulders, shaking out the hips, whatever feels good before we start to play around with that on the other side. So finding your position, taking a moment to get ready, taking a breath in and out. In, reverse, out, side angle. Hand comes down, opening up, pushing up, keep the chest open, arms behind. And then pushing up, ready for triangle, hips that way, reaching. Hand comes down, other hand floats up, space in the chest. Breathing out into the twist. And a little bend of the knee to help you get into half moon pose. Just lifting that toe up and down if that's where you are this morning, or coming in to the balance. And then foot comes to join the other, rolling up. Rolling the shoulders, whatever needs to be done before we go again. So this time as we move, just play around with the sensation of flowing. So keep the shoulders loose. Don't worry about making harsh lines or anything like that. Just encourage your body to flow through the postures. Keep the hips agile, or at least in your mind. And always not worrying about the specifics of where you're getting to with each move. You've made these shapes plenty of times before, so you have full permission just to play around them. Breath in and out. In, out, reaching. Hand comes down and open the chest. Pushing up, clasping, whatever. I'm not right now, open the chest. And then pushing up, getting ready for triangle. Leaning, hand comes down, other hand floats up. Imagine you're between two sheets of glass. Hand comes down, windmills down into that twist. And then bend that knee, the leading knee, to help yourself get into the balance. Lifting up that back leg. And bringing the foot down, rolling up vertebra by vertebra. I think we owe this side one more round. So let's just go for it. Taking a breath in and out. In, reaching. Out to side angle. Reaching. Down, reaching up. Pushing up, clasping the hands behind, or reaching, keep that chest open, back leg straight. Push up, getting ready for triangle, hips that way, reaching that way, hand floats down, other hand floats up, chest is open. And then windmill down into the twist. Bend that knee slightly to come into half moon, lifting up the back leg. Bringing the foot down, rolling up vertebra by vertebra. Staying at the top of the mat here, bringing your hands together at the heart. Close your eyes. And a few moments to settle. Noticing the heartbeat. Perhaps a feeling of warmth in the body. Notice the breath. Mine's certainly a little faster than it was when we were doing the Egyptian sun salute. And then open your eyes, drop the hands down, and turning to face me again, middle of the mat. Or we are going to do a bit of a balance now, so if you're feeling wobbly, you might want to put yourself nearer the wall. But what we're going to do to begin with is bring our weight onto our right foot. Just lifting up the left a little, hovering it. And then we're going to hold our leg as though it's a baby. So we're going to bring it up, and this is where you might want a wall nearby. We're going to bring up our baby, hold the baby, and give the baby a little rock. Keep lifting that baby, rocking it side to side. And what we're doing here is we're really opening into the hips here and having a stretch down the side. And then the glutes, keep the shoulders down, keep rocking the baby. Keep lifting that baby up. And if you're holding onto the wall, you can literally hold your leg like you would if you were holding a baby with one arm. And then we're going to straighten, so the baby's going now, we're going to straighten out. You can see my foot, how lovely. Straighten out, straight leg. I'm holding my leg underneath me. You can see, keeping the other leg as straight as possible, shoulders down, and just pushing away with the foot. Find something to focus on to help you balance. But notice how you're pushing down with that foot into the earth, and then you're pushing away with the other foot. Strength going both ways. Core very much engaged. And then bring that foot down, shake out the hips, roll the shoulders. To do that on the other side. So to begin with, just bringing the focus or the intention to balance on the other side. Letting the body know that that's what we're doing. Find a point of focus to gaze on. If that helps keep you steady, well, it will help keep you steady. And then we're lifting the leg, the baby, giving it a little rock. And as ever, noticing that you are not symmetrical, that this can feel so completely different on one side to the other. And that will always be the case. So you might feel less of a stretch on one side down here. I am. I'm naturally more open on this side. Just encouraging that leg to come up even more, knee to come up even more. So you might, it's fine if you're down here, literally like this. And that's where you are. The intention, the encouragement to be coming up. Encouraging that stretch and that opening there. And then coming into the balance with the leg out straight, shoulders down, pushing down into the earth, pushing away with the foot. Strength going at those right angles. Face relax. Dog barking. And then bringing that foot down, shaking out the hips, rolling the shoulders, taking a wide stance, bending the knees, taking a breath in and out. Noisy breath. In, full breath out, and in and out. Hands on hips, turn the feet in slightly, lift the chest, look up, space in the chest. Breathing out, folding at the hip, coming down. Drop the head. Flop here for a moment, just completely flopping. Couple of breaths here. And then just lifting the head, gazing slightly in front. And we're just going to walk the hands out in front, holding it there. And then walking them back. And flopping again. And then coming into a twist. So right hand or fingertips down in front, twisting round, lifting up the other arm, looking up to that arm, holding it here. Few steady breaths here, encouraging the body to really come into that twist. Draw the belly button back. Breathing out, coming back to the center, bringing that hand down. Swapping the hands over and then coming round to twist the other way. Reaching up, looking up. And again, drawing the belly button back to make room for a bit more of a twist. Twist a little bit more. And then breathing out, bring that hand down and then come down onto your mat, come into child's pose for a few breaths. Encourage the upper back to soften, mid back relaxing, lower back easing off. Just allowing the breath to flow in and out of the body just as it pleases. And then on your next out breath, just coming up onto all fours, gazing down. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And then just turn to look towards the right hip and turn the hip towards head, head towards hip. So you're making a little bit of a C shape with the body. And then return to center and then do that on the other side. So turning to look towards the other hip, turning the hip to meet the head. And then back to center. And then breathing out, coming into cat. Breathing into cow. Again, breathing to cat. Full long breath out. Breathing in to cow. And then breathing out to center. And then option here to come and do this exercise from a plank position, which would be more challenging on the core and on the wrists and the arms, or to keep your knees down. So we're going to be bringing our knee to the opposite, towards the opposite wrist. So have a quick check to see whether you want to be knees up or knees down. Find your start position. I'm going to be knees up. Keep gazing down towards the hands. And then on your out breath, taking the right knee towards the left wrist. Holding it there. And then bringing it back to the plank position. Next out breath, opposite knee. Coming to opposite wrist. Back to start. And then breathing out, opposite knee. Breathing in to plank. Out, opposite. In to plank. So it's slow, controlled movement. Keep very much working the core. Keep drawing that belly button back towards the spine. And we're doing the crossing and the strong engagement of the core on the out breath. In, out. Keep gazing down, keep length in the back of the neck. Let's do one more on each side. And then push back to a knees wide, arms stretched out, child's pose. Forehead to mat. Encourage space between the shoulders. Noticing the space and the freedom in the belly there with the knees wide. Fingers spread out. Perhaps saying the word surrender. This is a very deep position of surrender, just giving yourself to the earth, allowing the earth to carry you for a moment. As the body resets after working. And then breathing out, coming back up to all fours, and then bringing the fingers together, fingers pointing forwards, lifting up the feet, bending at the elbows, little dips up and down. A tiny, a controlled Pilates push-up, but we're also engaging the core. Working the triceps. Quite a small movement, small and steady and controlled. And then hold it down, a couple of breaths. And then bring the feet down and then come back to an all fours position, but we're going to take the right hand, thread it behind the left and come down to a threading the needle stretch. So we're bringing that shoulder down, ear down, And then we're lifting the other hand up. So it's a twisted posture. Stretching out the upper back, the shoulders there. Keep the chin tucked. And then bring the hand down and push up back to the all fours position. And we'll do that on the other side. So taking the left hand, threading it through, bringing it down and bringing the ear down, and then lifting up, reaching up. Noticing the stretch in the shoulders there. All these twists are so good for our digestion. Get everything moving. And opening the chest, allowing our breath to flow in and out freely, not fighting with the breath. Encouraging the breath to not be tense, but to come down and into the body fully, not just held up in the chest. And then breathing out onto all fours. And then from here, we're going to glide down into a Sphinx posture. So just up on the forearms, chest lifted, heart firing forwards. Feeling how our abdominals are being stretched here just slightly. Or sensation of being unpunched. And then pointing one toe, one leg up. Keep gazing forward. And then swap. And then swap again. And again. And again. Keep with that movement. And then bring the foot down, and then come all the way down, reach with the hands, forehead to mat, reaching, toes to fingers, reaching. And then flop. And then bring the hands alongside the body, and then lift the chest, gazing forwards. Keep lifting the chest. And then if it's comfortable for you on your lower back, you can lift the feet as well. And come into a mini bow position. Holding it here for a few breaths. And then bringing the feet down, bringing the hands to make a little pillow, bring the toes together, and then just shake the hips a little, just encourage the easing away of any tension in the lower back there. Allow the breath to flow steadily. And then from here, just rolling on to your back, drawing the knees in for a hug, rocking side to side again, just easing out any tension in the lower back there. And then bringing the feet down, knees up, hands down alongside the body, palms down. And then just tucking the pelvis, rolling just a little way, lifting hips off the mat, and then rolling back down again. So like a cog rolling along the mat, lifting just slightly, a micro movement, very precise movement of the spine, tucking, lifting, draw that belly button back as well, engage the core. Notice the precision of the movement as you literally can feel vertebra by vertebra moving and then lifting off the mat. Just notice the attention, the control, the detail, that connection of noticing that level of detail in your body. But so often we just kind of run around in our bodies without really paying too much attention to them. But here and now we're doing the exact opposite. We're just noticing every movement, the sensation as we move vertebra by vertebra with control, being sure not to knock our knees together, noticing how our feet are ground down into the earth. And then roll all the way up to half bridge, lifting the hips, lifting, lifting, lifting. Keep lifting as high as you can. And then hold it here. You can clasp your hands together underneath you, draw the shoulder blades even closer together. Keep lifting the hips. Close your eyes. See if you can just hold this here. Notice your feet grounding you down into the earth, hips lifting, body still and strong. Chest open, breath flowing freely in and out, face relaxed. Still holding it here. Some warmth perhaps coming into the glutes. Then unclasp the hands if they're clasped, palms down, and then again with great precision and with a full attention, rolling down, vertebra by vertebra, top of the spine to the tail, vertebra by vertebra, micro precise movements, core working to help with the precision. Rolling down until you're all the way down and you fall back into a neutral position. And then bringing your legs or your knees in for a hug, side to side. And then coming into a little zigzag twist, feet together, knees together, lifting, right hip, knees coming down. And then looking out over the opposite shoulder towards the opposite fingers. Standard zigzag or universal twist. Encouraging the shoulders down into the earth. And then breathing out to lift those knees back up. Taking a breath in the center. And then exhaling to work into the other side, looking out over the other hand. And again, encouraging those shoulders to surrender down into the earth. Noticing an openness in the chest. Relaxing here. Out breath long. In breath flowing in with ease. And then next out breath, floating the knees back up to the center and having one last hug and rock side to side. And then getting blankets, socks, hoodies, whatever you need, just to keep warm while we do a little relaxation. Find my blanket. And let's come into a lying down relaxation this morning. Using whatever cushions and props you need to help you not be distracted by any tension in the body. Have your palms facing up to the sky, some space under the armpits. Allow the feet to flop out to the side. just make a really tight fist with the hands. Really, 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 really squeeze, almost so it's painful. And then release, just let the hands flop. See if you can just allow them to flop even more. Same with the face, scrunch up the face, squeeze, make a really ugly face. Scrunch the eyes, the lips, scrunch everything up, tighten the jaw, grit the teeth together, and then release. Jaw softens, eyebrows soften, mouth relaxes, tongue relaxes, eyelids soften. And hunch the shoulders up to the ears. Hunch, 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 hunch. And then release. Shoulders into the earth. Upper back softening. And squeeze, lifting up the kneecaps. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And release. Legs soften. Thighs, glutes. Calves soft. Relaxed. Being held. And then scrunch up the toes, squeeze, 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 like you're trying to squeeze your foot into a tiny shoe. And then release. Release some more. And then lastly, just scrunch, squeeze the whole body, tense, 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 squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then release, relax. Release some more. Really fall into the earth. Being dissolved, dissolving into the earth beneath you. Whole body, back of the head, the back of the arms, the feet, the legs, the hips, whole body being held completely by the earth beneath you. The breath is just coming and going like a wave without you having to do anything at all. You can just watch. Watch as your body breathes itself. And again, you might notice the sounds around you, the happenings of this precise moment. Knowing that there's nothing for you to change or do in this moment. Zero responsibility. And then, as ever, of course, you can stay here just as long as you want. But I'm going to take a bit of a stretch. Full big breath out. I'm going to roll myself up. I'm going to say thank you very much for joining me, and I will be here next week. Thank you.